About a week and a half ago, my youngest son Ethan went out and went salmon fishing and had some success. So we're gonna smoke a salmon fillet, and I pre-mixed some seasoning that we're gonna put on the fillet. We'll put the recipe for this down in the description, but basically what it is. And we just mix that together. And then we took a pretty decent sized pan and we line that with some aluminum foil, and I do that just because some liquid's going to come out of this as we let it sit in the fridge. And then we line that with cellophane, and again I double that up so I can make sure I get it over the fillet. So this is pretty straightforward. This is the first step in the smoking. So what this is we're going to get this salmon basically marinating or on this mixture for about 12 hours in the refrigerator. 12 to 24, you can do it for quite a while. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take about half of our mixture and we're going to fill the bottom of the pan with that. There's no magic to this, just about half on the bottom, half on the top. And we'll give that a shot. I'm going to put some gloves on here because we're going to put the salmon in. Make sure we got it all covered. Well, it's a pretty big fillet, so. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our salmon fillet, and you're going to see this pretty good sized salmon they caught, this particular one anyhow, and we're going to lay that in this pan skin side down. And this is a pretty big fillet, so we're going to have to tuck the tail a little bit on the side, but we just want to make sure that that gets laid down onto that salt and sugar mixture that we have. We're going to take the rest of our mixture and coat the top side. So we'll make sure that we get that on here and get it coated. We want to make sure that everything's covered. I probably could have cut this in 2 pieces so that it would fit in the pan a little better, but just for presentation purposes, I wanted to keep it all intact. So let's go ahead and get the rest of this on there. No reason to waste any of it. So now we'll just make sure with our hands we pat this down good and that we have everything covered good. Not only is it going to give it some nice flavor with the sugars and the salt and pepper, but it's also going to help draw some of that moisture out of the fish before we smoke it. We're going to take carefully and we're going to get this cellophane wrapped over it. We want to make sure that we don't curl it up. And again, pat that down, and now we're going to cover it with the foil. And then what you do is we're going to take another pan that fits over top of the fillet like this, and we're going to put this in the fridge just like this, except I'm going to put quite a bit of weight in this top pan so that it presses down on the fillet while it sits in the fridge. I'm probably going to use some soda cans or beer cans and just line this really good, or I might even sit a full case of water right on top of this in the fridge. And then once that's marinated, we'll get it back out and we'll go to the next step. All right guys, it's the next morning. I've got our salmon out of the fridge, and now this next step is pretty simple, but it's very important as far as the smoke. So all we're going to do to this next step is take our salmon out of the pan, get it out of the solution, out of the saran wrap and the foil, and we're going to put that in a bigger cookie sheet. And then I'm not going to show this on video, but I'm going to rinse it off really good and then we're going to put it in this bigger pan again, and we're going to let that sit in the basement here where it's somewhere cool and dry for probably 6 to 8 hours. And then what it's going to do after about 8 hours is it'll get a little bit of a skin on it, and you'll see that meat is dull colored, and at that point we can smoke the fish. I had a case of water sitting on top of this to press it, and you can see that we got quite a bit of moisture out of the fish. So again, we're going to take this out of here. I'm going to take this upstairs in the sink, and I'm going to get all the saran wrap off of it, and then I'm going to rinse it super good to get all of the salt and sugar and everything that we put on it off of it, and I'm pat it dry, and then I'm going to leave it sit in the basement for about 8 hours. I thought I'd hop back down here real quick after I got it rinsed and in the pan, just so you can see what the salmon looks like ahead of time. And I don't know.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
But It's a little glossy on the meat, and we got it patted down. And now what we're gonna do is just let this sit down here in the basement, like I said, for about 6 to 8 hours. And what that's gonna do is dry the meat a little bit, and then it's gonna get a little bit of a crust on it from sitting. We're gonna leave that sit down here in a nice, cool, dry place. And when we get back with you, it'll have that kind of a matte finish to it, and then we'll be able to throw it on the smoker. We've had our salmon sitting out now after we rinsed it, and we have it on a cookie sheet just to elevate it a little bit to get the air circulating under it. I've had a fan blowing on it, so it's been going since 8 o'clock this morning, so almost 11 hours. And if you look at it, we got what we wanted. We just got a little bit of a dry crust, but you can kind of see how it's just dried a little bit, and it's got a little bit of a crust on it, and that's exactly what we want, because that'll help pick up the smoke, but it'll also seal the moisture inside so that the meat will stay nice and moist. Now we're gonna take it out, put it on the grill. We've got the smoker set at 185, I believe, or 190 degrees, and about 8 or 9 on the smoke. We're gonna put some heavy smoke to this. So let's head out, put it on the smoker. All right, we made it out to the smoker. We're gonna take the salmon and get it on the grill. Again, it's at 190 degrees or so. High smoke, should take about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, I'm hoping. But what we're driving for is an internal temp on the meat of 165 degrees. So let's go ahead and get it on the smoker. And we're just gonna lay that skin down right on there. We'll close her up. It's that simple. We'll be back in an hour and a half or so. All right, we just got our salmon fillet off of the smoker. It was on there for about an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours. We had the temp again set between like 180 and 200. It fluctuated because we had the smoke really high. We cooked it until we got an internal temp across the fillet of 145. Some places are a little bit warmer than others, but 145 at the thickest part. The tail is a little bit warmer because it's thinner, but should be delicious. So the taste tester is going to be the guy that caught it. So we're going to have Ethan come in, take a bite, and see what he thinks. So come on in, Ethan. Pick a good spot. I'd say this corner right here would be really good. Like that corner.
Right here?
Yeah.
Oops.
Pick a little of that off of there.
That's good.
Does it taste good?
Yeah.
All right.
Holy
Good
cow.
deal.
Try some.
Anyhow, now I got everybody laughing. But anyhow, we'll wrap this up. It's been almost 30 hours to do this salmon, but from the look on Ethan's face, it was well worth it. So we're gonna call this one good and call it a wrap. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and like the video. Thanks again for watching and supporting the channel. We really appreciate it.